Good afternoon. It is December 9th, 2021, and today, we had a range day with a downward bias, but now it's looking like the downward bias that was kind of weak earlier is actually pretty strong. Um, Excuse me. I'm gonna try and make this quick because I'm not sure if I'm gonna have an interruption. Not a lot of, the way I saw it, not a lot of good opportunities in here. And the ones that I did see, I really pretty much saw after the fact. Early, there were a couple good opportunities, and after that, I got hammered on my practice account. I did great on my regular account, but just not a lot of good setups. Like right here, I was hoping for a failed second entry long, but you didn't get that. So a lot of that today. So let's take a look. So we were trending down in the overnight. You can see this channel here, and you know what? Actually, before I start, it looked like we might have been in this channel, but and I think this has some validity to it, but I think you're better off just playing the range and the short-term trend channels. But you can see that midline. Prices are definitely bouncing off that midline, so I'm going to delete that. But like I was saying, in the overnight, we had this trend channel working down, and we get a double test right here and a bounce. So it looked like we were probably going to get a break, which we did, but then we get I actually look at this as this is a second entry short, but it's just an inside bar. So when you get this lower high right here, and the signal bar is pretty good, I like going short there. Especially, we just had a break of this channel, so I'm expecting a move to a new low. We never made that, or we did make that, but way later in the day. So we make that. Really, this was like a triple test, like a triple test of these lows, and then we bounce. And I actually liked going long here because after the triple test, we just make a higher low. I think I didn't mark it. I think if it closed above the EMA, I think I would have marked it as aggressive. But I really liked that. It just looked and felt like a trap. And so here we have this failure, failed second entry short that doesn't work. So why doesn't it work? The best thing I could come up with here is that that's at the top of a range, maybe, but I think a better reason for that not to work is that this is two inside bars, and this is a doji, and we don't take failures in congestion. So I'm pretty sure I got trapped on my practice account going long there. But if you're patient, you get a first entry and a second entry, and this is your signal bar. So unfortunately, that doesn't work. So this isn't a higher low. This is actually a lower low. But I like the way this sets up. This kind of looks like the second entry. It kind of looks like this is the first entry. It goes lower and breaks higher. So I like that trade. All these bars clearly being held by the EMA. We already had a break of the channel, and with the triple test down here, I think we're going to go higher. And then you get a higher low right here. This is actually technically a failed second entry short as well, but again, that's just more overlap. We go up into this congestion, and this just looks too congestive for any entries. Then you get a first entry, failed second entry long, doesn't set up. This kind of looks like the failure to me, and that's why I marked it, but it doesn't. It's just a first entry, and unfortunately, it looks like it's outside of any potential trend channel. And this is just beneath the EMA. At this point, we don't know what's going on. Looks like we might be looking for a new low. I don't like this for any reason. It's just the first entry anyway. And then we just more congestion. And you might look at this as, that's another reason. It looked like counter trend breakout, so when you get this higher low you might consider it, but prices just responded to the EMA right here. This is just congested, man. Not a lot going on here. This is too far from the EMA. We break beneath the overnight lows briefly, and you get a first failed second entry, but that's 3 bars overlapping again, and it's far from the EMA. At least this one was like closer to the EMA. But this just looked like a better trap, better signal bar too. Just more congestion. So we break out counter trend of this congestion and you get a higher low. Very bullish signal bar. Closes above the EMA, so I like that. But it's aggressive. It's just a... Oh wait, this actually looks like a second entry. So I'm going to change that to blue. The second entry doesn't matter so much in congestion, but I think that combined with the fact that it's a higher low and it's a super bullish bar, I like that. So we break out, counter trend, you know, the first time breakout typically fails. We come back in here, and I think this is technically a first failed second entry long. It's off the EMA. These setups really just are not that good today. You make a new low and then you start to bounce higher and you get a first failed second entry short. Great bullish signal bar. Finally, a good setup. And still, it's not great because we just had congestion here, so we don't know what's happening. You can see though, resistance at the midline of the overnight highs and lows, this right here, and then resistance at this level, So then when we start to get higher, if you have a runner, take profits right there probably. And this was probably the easiest setup of the day right here. Is we trend higher, we have a break of that channel, and it's at the midline, and right here you get a test that level, double test right here. I really like this setup. Okay, I believe I had just finished talking about this double test right here. I really like that, especially how choppy we had been all day, and we found the midline, we found resistance at the midline. So when we make this double test, yeah, I like that. Unfortunately, any runner would only get you like 2 points, and I was expecting prices to test this opening level, but they came back up first and then went down to test it. So if you're looking at that as a breakout, you might take this higher low, but again, that's aggressive. I really like this setup for a failure, but I think the reason you shouldn't be taking that is because we should be expecting a test of at least this overnight low. So, and then this first entry, second entry, this is like a lower high off the second entry short, but it's so congestive at that point, I don't think you can take that. And then we have this big move down, and all this is just too far from the EMA, and then we get a break, and looks like one leg, 2 legs down. This is a second entry short, but the signal bar is no good. And when we get the break and a move to a new low, we reversed first entry, failed second entry short. I really like that entry. We already had the new low in place, and we've really been ranging all day, so that's why I like that. And then we come up here, break, and it looks like towards the close we just get a sell-off. So this is after 1 o'clock, but that's the second entry short. And that's all I really saw for the day. So again, I took this lower high. I think this is a great entry. Don't get the second entry short set up. So this lower high sets up. I think that's good. This congestion doesn't look too worrisome at this point because it's all below the EMA. And then I took this. This is very aggressive. Like I said, I think if the signal bar closed above the EMA, I would have liked it much more. But I think given the context of the triple test and then the higher low, I think this is okay, but definitely aggressive. So that's what I saw for the day, and I'll be back tomorrow.